Hello. Today, I will be teaching you about the Web Soil Survey. The following training is recorded with the Camtasia free demo. The Web Soil Survey is an extremely powerful tool that can be utilized by producers, consumers, soil conservationists, landowners, and just about anybody to learn about their soil type and how to best utilize it. First things first, in your browser, go to the following website: websoilsurvey.nrcs.usda.gov. Now, you need to click the big green button that says WSS, also known as Web Soil Survey. And the Web Soil Survey will show up. The Web Soil Survey was compiled for the entire United States, which means that it will start out with a big picture of our country. You need to find your area and narrow it down to the location you are wanting to talk about. There are several ways to do this. You could go by address. You could go by state and county and then narrow it down. You could go by latitude and longitude. Go by plat book areas such as section, township, and range. We're going to get an address close to the field we want to survey today, and then we will move the map to the actual location we want to go to. So in the address, I'm going to type in something relatively close. It's about a mile away, a little bit less, and we will just adjust our location. We're going to look at a field in west central Illinois today. So that should tell you a little bit about the soil type. You can expect high organic matter, low slope, a solid A horizon. So we're going to type in an address in the middle of the city of Griggsville, Illinois. I type it in the box here. Now I click View. All right, here's the city of Griggsville. So we need to move our map a little bit so we can get a better view of one of these fields outside of town on the right. So we're going to go to a tool pane up here, and there's a hand here that allows you to drag the map. I'm going to select that. Now I'm basically just going to click in the center of my view, and I'm going to drag it left so I can get to a field on the right. All right, we want to analyze this field right here. So we're going to establish that as our area of interest. So I want to zoom the map in on that field. So the next tool we're going to select is the zoom in magnifying glass. It is the magnifying glass on the far left with a plus sign. Now there are a couple ways to utilize this. We could take the magnifying glass, click in the middle of the map, and it will just do a general zoom to a percentage, or what I prefer to do is actually hold down the left mouse button and draw a rectangle around my field or my area of interest, and it will change the proportions of the map to include that entire area of interest. So if I want to do this field, I'm going to draw it a little bit oversized here, drag it this way, and let off the left mouse button. Okay, we have a good look at the field. Looks like the year that this satellite image was done, it appears to have been in corn that year, if I'm looking at it correctly. So what I'm going to do now, I have to create my area of interest, also known as my AOI, and there are two ways to do that. You could either draw a rectangle, similar to what I just did. The issue with drawing a rectangle is I'm also going to learn about the soil in this person's yard and this little pasture paddock right here. I don't want to do that. I just want to look at this field. So I'm going to draw a polygon. And the process of drawing the rectangle is the same as it was drawing the rectangle for the magnifying glass. The polygon is a little more complex though, because you will have to plot each edge of the polygon. So I'm going to start in the upper left-hand corner, click once with my left mouse button, and now it's drawing a line that's mapped to my mouse. So now I'll click in this upper right-hand corner, and I'll just keep drawing it across here. And you can really do some curves here, which is really cool if you take time to do it. Okay, now I want this corner right here to be where I end my polygon. Now, if your polygon intersects at all, it will create an error and it won't work. So if you want to end it here, what you have to do, find your last point, which is where I'm at. Now you're going to double click the left mouse button. Okay, it has created an area of interest. The whole zone that has these blue diagonal marks, that is my area of interest. And you can look in the left pane here for your AOI properties, and you can see this area of interest is 34.7 acres big. So, today we're going to focus on primarily finding out about the soil profile and the soil texture of this area. In the future, we'll look at the actual in-depth data found in the Soil Data Explorer tab. But for the time being, we're just going to focus on the Soil Map tab. It's up here at the top. Click on it. All right. And it has broken my AOI into areas based on all the different soil types. So on the map, it is going to give me a map unit symbol, such as 43A. And you can bring that across here and see that 43A is an Ipava silt loam. Now the map unit names are going to be distinct to the area, largely because that's based on the profile that's unique to that area. You will not find Ipava silt loam in New Mexico or Missouri, because that's basically unique to West Central Illinois, that name is. But the soil types are not unique. It's just the regional terms based on how they are established and what the soil profiles tend to be. So what I would do, if you're going to do a blanket subscription for one field instead of a spot application of fertilizer or something similar, figure out what makes the largest percentage of your field, which particular map unit name is the largest percentage, and click on it and just use the information from it. So you see here I can click on the Ipava silt loam, which makes up over half. It's 50.9%. I'll click on that and it will bring up detailed information. Okay, so there's two areas here. This is report. This is going to have the details. Now if you want a better description of that, the description here is just going to tell you what those details mean, but the actual numbers are going to be here in report. So it's going to tell me a little bit about it. I can see the mean annual air temperature, 50 to 57 degrees. Tells me how long the soil does not have frost in this area, 160 to 190 days. Okay, and we can keep scrolling through. What is really interesting to me, I like to look at the typical profile here. And you can see that the A horizon is 18 inches deep. And this is where you get the universal information. It tells me that the A horizon is going to be either silt loam or silty clay loam. So once again, we said Ipava silt loam is a regional term, but terms like silt loam, silty clay loam, the things you find in the typical profile right here, those are universal across the entire United States. So the term silt loam is a universal soil science term across the entire United States. And you can basically look at the entire horizon. You can see the B horizon or C horizon, all that kind of stuff. It's got a 0 to 2% slope, so it's basically flat. Depth to restrictive feature, more than 80 inches down. So that means for me to hit the bedrock or the limestone here in Illinois, I would have to dig over 80 inches to find that R horizon. Drainage class, somewhat poorly drained, most likely because there's such clay content. We see that there's a lot of silty clay loam here in the typical profile. Depth to water table. This would be useful if you were digging a well or something. You see that you'll first hit water between 1 to 2 feet down. You can kind of base it off that. Okay, land capabilities. Ooh, so the land capability classifications, unfortunately, they do not list the official descriptions. They just list the number. But as a non-irrigated land, this is a 1. That is the best number that the United States Department of Ag gives to land. So this is highly recommended for cultivation, this land would be. And you can kind of Google the USDA taxonomy of land capability classifications and figure out what these number means. But basically, if it's number 1, you can do anything you want with it. Okay. Yep. And then you can kind of scroll through here. You can look at more of the information if you want. Okay. And that's the basic soil map information we have going on right there. Once again, there's a lot more detailed information in the Soil Data Explorer right here. We're not going to cover that at this time, but I did think it's important for you to get a general idea of how to find soil texture and similar things using Web Soil Survey. Now, if you want to create a different AOI, all you would do is go back to your Area of Interest tab right here. See, it's back to the blue diagonal lines now, and you would just click Clear AOI. And now you can start fresh. You can type in a new address. You can move your map, whatever you need to do to find your next AOI. All right, thank you for your time. Feel free to email me with any questions, and look forward to learning more about soil with you.